Hello, welcome to this topping off ceremony in which I'm placing this finial at the front of the roof bridge. There you have it, 3 words that I didn't know before this video. And I'm not actually done yet. The astute watcher might notice that the gutters are missing and some more of the topping off details. The reason why I haven't put them on yet is that I'm not happy with one of the roof windows. It doesn't seem to fit exactly, so I will take it off before I attach them firmly in place. And first, after that, I can put up the finishing touches. And then there's the accessories. There's a thin, narrow shelf which is supposed to go here. Then also, the door stop to prevent the door from slamming into this window. It will go here. I will exchange the window openers for automatic window openers. Finally, curtains, drapes. We have bought 6 in total. So in this video, I will tell you the story of how we got from how this corner looked 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 3 months ago, up until now. So, in the beginning, there was nothing. There was worse than nothing. All along this entire west side of the garden, there were giant old pines, a lot of self-sown crab apples and other trees which had grown for 15-20 years, and everything was covered in ivy, and also on top of that weeds and high grass. So I've been digging some more just to get rid of everything, and cutting down trees, transporting away branches and twigs and whatnot, tons and tons and cubic meters after cubic meter, just to get a level playing field. And then I've started to do everything around here, create these beds. I've done most of this in the last year, which is pretty amazing when you think of it. So this corner was the last one standing. Here we had an old shed that my father built 50 some years ago. It wasn't even built in treated wood, it was just regular spruce, I think, with some paint on it. And it was completely rotten. It too was overgrown with ivy. It was cocooned in ivy, actually. The ivy stretched all around it and below it, as I said, several feet below it, with trunks as thick as legs. And I tried to kill it, and I tried to cut everything down for several years, but I didn't manage. It was like it was alive, evil, and I didn't have a chance. So in the end, and behind the shed was just a jumble of things. This was ground that no one had seen or worked or treated for, at least 50 years. It was a heck of a lot of work just to get everything away from here. Also, there were a lot of big shrubs and other things that I had to move or transplant or just get rid of. For one thing, this forsythia here, which has happily found a new home. It was a giant, an absolute giant. It took me forever to move it. And of course, I mean, it was really big, but it seems like it's coming along nicely here in its new place. Also a big honeysuckle I cut back, and I've put it back here where it seems to thrive. Here, look how lush the foliage is on this one. So, as usual, I've got help from my neighbor. He was over here watching me demolish the shed, and we had this plan of rebuilding it or just renovating it and then removing it and replacing it with a new one. But then we looked at each other and we said, wouldn't it be nice if this was a greenhouse? I think it was my neighbor suggested initially, actually, and we immediately it just clicked. Of course there should be a greenhouse here. Okay, so then what should it stand on? Concrete or stone slabs, which is the most normal thing. But then we had just built the pergola. We were a bit fed up with doing that, all the work to get a level plane of slabs. So my neighbor, who is a builder, a carpenter, he suggested a wooden deck. But then the question was how to prepare for the deck. Well, we had to get rid of the topsoil and everything that was in it, all the roots from the old ivy. And I started digging. We thought that it would suffice to dig 30 centimeters or feet or so, but it did not. I had to dig 3 feet, more than 3 feet. And it was no easy dig, because this entire place was absolutely filled with old gravel, stone, and weeds and roots. So it took me forever. And in the end, I had a giant basin here, a rectangular hole, much larger than the deck is now, because I had about 3 feet, 2 feet of margins around it as well to be able to work in it. And as I said, more than 3 feet deep. I have done everything by hand. One reason is that I can't get any machinery in here. There's no way. So I've done everything by hand. So I had a giant mound of soil here in the back. And then I took some help from my boys, and we transported all the soil from the back to the front, the driveway. But then my neighbor said to me, I can't watch you by hand dig everything up again into a mini trailer, load by load by load, and drive it to the dump. You just have to let me phone in an acquaintance with the machinery. So I left the soil here. And it cost me a couple of $100, but it was worth it. It really was. Then, of course, there was a new dump of new gravel here, which was quite some work to transport. Anyway, barrel load by barrel load. But that was fun, because when it was time to put down the gravel, that was like the icing on the cake. I had to even out this entire area, which took quite some time. I had to fill in what I've dug out. I will tell you more about that in a second. And I put down a cover, ground cover everywhere. Maybe you can see here, peeking out between the stones, a little white fabric there behind the small rock. Everywhere. And then I put in all the walking slabs, small gravel that I had below, so that I can fix them so that they are really stable when you walk on them. And then when they were in place, I could finally start to fill in the gravel. It was really, really satisfying. And then just the other day, I cut away all the excess ground cover, which was quite a lot of work too, actually. And I have to say, in the beginning, if you can follow the stone lining here, there was just soil on the other side of it, so that we had a kind of a U shape here, with the gravel on one side and soil on the other. And I thought that looked really nice, but I had a lot of gravel to spare on the driveway, so I had to get rid of it. So I put it on the other side. It doesn't look bad at all. I mean, for instance, here it surrounds this little bed. It looks really nice. but I actually think it looked better before. This gravel part stood out more against the surrounding beds and soil before. So I'm not 100% pleased with that, but still, I can always move this gravel if I want to later on. About the digging and the deck building. So when the hole was big enough, finally, and all the topsoil and everything else was removed, I filled up this entire hole with small gravel, about 2 inches deep layer all over. So it's a big hole here under the decking still, and in the almost a meter to 3 feet down, and then in the at the bottom there is a thin layer of small gravel. And then on top of the gravel we built with concrete slabs, little foundations, little towers. I think we have 3 on each side for the beams to rest on, the big beams that hold up the entire construction. And then around the beams we built a frame, and then on the frame we built the decking. But then also on the sides we built walls, wooden walls, so that when I could finally fill in from the sides with soil again, it wouldn't just rush down under the gravel and fill the hole again. So it's completely empty inside here, and there are wooden walls going down 1 meter, and then all the soil is packed against the walls. And I think it's good for ventilation and air quality, and so just to have it a big vacuum, not a vacuum, but a big empty hole under there. And hopefully the treated wood will last at least 50 years. I can't treat it, of course, if I want to. I have thought about it, as well as the pergola, but I'm in no rush to do anything about it. And then it was time to build the greenhouse. We looked quite a few greenhouses, my wife and I. This is in price range 2, so to speak. It's not the absolute most expensive, most high quality, but the next to top tier. There is 1 tier above. But I am completely satisfied and happy with this range. It's a perfect balance. I would not have wanted the absolute top tier because I don't think it's worth the money. It's more branding than anything else, even though it is a bit more massive in some places. But this is really good quality, and it looks really nice, and it's meant to be able to use as just a lounge, and not strictly as just a working greenhouse. Yeah, we had some complications building the deck and then fitting the base of the greenhouse to the deck, but I won't go into details there. And then the actual assembly was, now in retrospect, wasn't as bad as I feared, even though there were moments of panic and major frustration, mainly because not of the construction itself, but the manual. The manual was crap. Oh, again, with the help of my neighbor, we got it up with not too much effort, actually. It looks really good, and I'm really happy with the furnishing. This is cheap stuff. This is the cheapest line you can find. It's faux wood, it's aluminium, but I think it's a good thing, because you don't have to oil it, you can just leave it here. So this entire furnishing, which looks exactly as I wanted it, pretty exclusive if you ask me. I mean, what did it cost? $200 maybe. It's a steal. Really comfy chairs. There's a nice light there. I put up some party lights here. And here in the front we will put some citrus and chilies. Then in the spring I will use this to harden off my seedlings, of course. Since this looks so good as a lounge, I will prioritize that it continues to be a welcoming spot to just sit and enjoy the surroundings and not clutter it with greenhouse stuff. Instead I've built this outdoor working area. I think at a few yards distance it looks quite okay. And I'm also very happy with the beds surrounding the whole thing. Here, this is a newly planted bed. This is a refurbished bed from what was here before, as is this. I'm really happy with the results. And these were shade plantings, shade beds from the start, but now they get too much sun. But on the other hand, we've had really nice weather for the plants. It's been raining and overcast mostly for the last 2-3 weeks, and then some sun in between. So I think, as you can see, even the shade plants are really liking it here right now. The rhododendron bed and the hosta bed, and then a final little touch, a new bed here where there was a compost before. So if you sit in here, also behind the work table, aside from the beautiful alliums here, there are a climbing rose on its way up this espalier that I built. I also put in some automatic solar powered lights here, and then there are a lot of perennials on their way up here as well. So and also of course the lilacs here, which has bloomed out for the season. So wherever you sit inside here, it's like being inside a, I don't know, cinema or something. It's like an exhibition, a garden exhibition. You can really get a close-up. It's like an aquarium, but you are on the inside. Like when you go to the zoo, but it's the audience are in the cage, in the aquarium. And also you can see pretty much all back of the garden. Actually, it's a perfect vantage point. All the beds. With a gravel bed, maybe you can see it in the distance, and the pink bench, and the raised conifer bed. You have the corner there. Can you see there? Yeah, there is the pink bench. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I had to say about this. Welcome back.